Good evening. I'm so excited to see all your beautiful faces. After so many years not having in-person events, this is something special about being together. Thank you for coming tonight. My name is Jocelyn Jones, and I'm the project coordinator for the Third Day Church Project. And you'll learn more about that momentarily. But as always, we want to know about so I'm going to invite Reverend Dr. Mary Mitchell to the front.
Thank you. Shall we pray? God, we come into your presence this evening, first of all, so thank you for allowing us to be here tonight after a long day of pray now that you will give us and thoughts, Lord God, and you revive us again after a long day of after a fruitful conversation, Lord God, as we continue to do work of justice outside of the four walls of the church, that we will not grow weary and well doing, Lord God, but that we will reap in due season. I pray that you will bless every speaker, Lord God, that you will lead them at their point of need and minister to them and through them and use them tonight for your glory. Let's put your love on tonight, God, and have your way. Let the power and the presence of your
We'll have time for Q&A at the end of the questions. And so if you have questions, jot them down so that you don't forget. And you'll be able to ask questions at the end. And then if time permits, we're going to do a small discussion so that you can really think through how this applies to your work in your ministry and your home. All right. First question. Describe the work of justice in which you are currently engaged. Tell us what you're working on and who is working with you. Ross, I call. Donald looks ready.
I look ready.
Yes, you do.
What did I do so I don't repeat that? You guys hear me? I'm actually pretty loud. First of all, thanks to my St. Paul group for coming out to Grove, man. That was pretty awesome. St. Paul Church has a very long history of social justice. We were an immigrant church at our founding by Germans in the late 1800s and early 1900s. And now the neighborhood has been a welcome haven for the Mexican community. And with immigrants comes injustice in the United States. We've proven that year over year over year. And so we've seen a lot of injustice in our community, and St. Paul is always ready to fight those injustices. 7 years ago, it was about migrant immigrant children who were being taken from their parents. And most recently, the more recent fights that we're really focused on is one, providing service to migrant families. And our board in our neighborhood is doing amazing things. And the St. Paul Social Service Committee is very active in helping feed and clothe and provide for migrants. There's a lot of volunteers here who do that work. But we're also really involved in environmental justice. You live on the south side of Chicago, and you are probably in an industrial area, and that means your air is 10 times more polluted than the air you're breathing. And 4 years ago, our social justice committee, a couple of the members who are here, and have been here from the beginning on the social justice fight for environmental racism, really engaged in a study of what is happening, and they involved experts, and they involved many community leaders and stakeholders, and brought together politicians, and brought together grandmas, and also children in schools and directors, and put everybody together, and we realized that we have a problem. And so we fight currently every time a new company comes into our ward and they're asking for a permit. Our church shows up with signs, and we're ready to fight. So those two, both helping with the migrants and the environmental injustice, and then the third one that just came right in the last second, because social justice, you don't get to pick. Sometimes you are called to the problem, and that is that illicit with exorbitant taxes. Many of the members of our community are being taxed out of our homes. We have paid for these streets, these schools, and we intend to stay in our homes. And St. Paul, will be a vehicle to make sure that that fight stays vibrant, healthy, and healthy. Come on.
One of the things I want you to do is pick up new terms. You heard environmental racism. It is a thing. And so if you don't know that now you know, and you begin to see that more. I'm going to ask Pastor Richard to go next.
Good evening. God be the glory for things God has done appreciate and applaud Jocelyn for the work that she's done, certainly comrades up here, and certainly my big brother, what we look like. Thank God for Saints of Mine for the work that Mike is doing. So I call Mike is doing. In terms of the work that we are doing at First Baptist Church, the most prevalent thing is going on now since June 14, 2019, where the members of citizens of the village of University Park receive and do not consume water with regard to the water, because there is lead in it. You don't have to go to Flint, you can go 30 miles south of here. And people are affected with lead in the water. I've said it's liquid lead, masking itself as water. So that has been our fight for the last almost 4 years. We are engaged, and we have engaged the community when it first happened by bringing the community together to do a number of things, engage in charity and justice. The charity part of that was community unification, some to deliver water, some to do research, some to do this, some to do that, so that there could be a groundswell effort of what it was that we did to try to affect change in this because of some of the town hall meetings we had that brought awareness to it. There was a suit filed by the Illinois Attorney General that is still actually now discovered. I'm not sure when it's going to progress. There was a hearing just this past Friday. I didn't get an update on what happened, but that being said, what we've engaged in is not only engaging the community, but also engaging elected officials, some who will engage us, some who will suddenly evaporate and not be available. But that's pretty much where we are right now, short and very brief. Who we have worked with regard to it has been a number of folks. Let me just say this, one of our main claims with regard to the water in University Park is that this is University Park where 94% of the persons are black and brown. This used to be a town where there was 97% white, right? When white flight took place, solar resources back in the late 90s, early 2000s. And since that time, there's been a number of resources that have lapsed. And one of the things that we believe is that this is the same playbook that is going on around the country, where negative value resources are taken out, and when that happens, then people will swoop in and fix everything, and then take money that they got for pennies and sell it for this and that. And we're saying that that's not going to happen. Similar to what's going on in Wilson with a different kind of spin on it. And so what we're saying is this is University Park. If this was Highland Park, it would be a whole different story. And we wouldn't be having this conversation. Infrastructure would have been adjusted and amended already. So that's our claim. That's what we're sticking to. That's what we're going to fight until we are able to have clean water. We can even baptize the church. All right, something that's simple that we take for granted. So who are we working with? I am blessed to work with an amazing pastoral staff, like Evan Only, Reverend Justin Hammer, who is here, who is our associate pastor for community engagement and justice, who's done an awesome job in terms of taking this on as well as other matters. We also sit in the food desert side of Sabina. I'm not going to call it food desert. We're sitting in a system of food apartheid. That's a big difference in terms of how that's made. And so this food apartheid, this system of food is set up so that we don't have, it's easier to get a good than it is a local bread. It's easier to get flaming hot than it is to get fresh fruits and vegetables, right? So we're also in that sphere. We're also working with an organization called SOUL, Southside United Liberation, that also helps to engage in organizing to help get Brandon Johnson in his office. We're doing the youngest job in terms of what we're doing around research that we're pushing out and pushing forward. So I hope that
Questions? Thank you. Next, I'm going to ask for the mayor.
Good evening, thanks on the director artists, but also as with us as mentioned. And so I'm just going to talk about both of them because although they are in two different communities, context, the ministry is one, vocation is one. And that is us being called to a ministry of belonging and working against poverty and making sure that everyone has access to the abundance that God has promised each and every one of us and all of creation, not just humanity, but creation as well. So that shows up in both spaces in different ways. So think about the church first of all. The church was founded on a ministry of social justice and making sure that we are to speak out against the powers that be, to provide service, but not to make protective service alone, and also making sure that we're speaking up and standing up for justice, right? So we've always been a mission, what we call a mission-oriented church in partnership with other congregations that may have no access to resources or live in other parts of the city that are less marginalized. And so that relationship and that work has been there for almost 50 years now, very committed to the community. And so COVID was a good opportunity to remind us that we are beautiful. We might not be big, we're not a mega church, but when other places closed down during COVID, especially state-run offices, we stayed open to provide people access to resources, lighting resources, keeping the gas and energy on, especially our seniors and those who are on a fixed income or facing out-of-tax physical or mental challenges. We are now one of the number one sources on that west side of the Greenville Park in Chicago, even with one of the huge north side institutions closed during COVID. We stayed open, right? Thanks be to God and our partners that said, okay, we're going to continue to help this work. Very, very small congregation. So really reminding ourselves, you know what? We're going to stop apologizing for being small. We're going to stop getting caught up on who ain't here. And we're going to thank God that we're able to serve hundreds of people every single day. And if I was to close every day at all, and while that work is happening, I've been collecting petitions to open up mental health resources in public work, because some of them have been so gentrified, right? And so there is a part of the community that's really committed to not just, hey, let's hold on because, we shall have a group and let's just sit here and while everything's happening around us, but no, this is our community. We have a say in what happens here. And if things are going to move and be developed, it will be with and for the community and not for those that you're wishing to come in. That's a hard fight. Sometimes say we lost the fight and not the fight now, believe it. You go down to ministry and you'll learn something else, right? And so that community continues to do that. When it's a safe and just purpose. Oh, let me just give a shout out to my church member, Reverend Chef, for the room. Yeah. Okay. And I'm saying this because I see my board member for just purpose looking at me. I know she's going to talk about just purpose. So this is Rich right there, our board member. She's looking around talking about just as a board member for just purpose. And so we're in Rogers Park, also facing gentrification. Also a community that, while we really brag about being very diverse, has not always been very diverse. A community that even though we might say we're welcoming to all, still struggles with anti-blackness and anti-poverty, right? We're going to be all welcome and loving as long as they sit next to me trying to and I've been here for 21 years, so I know what I'm talking about. And I don't anybody can say anything different. And so the real commitment now, especially again, because COVID has created an opportunity for some real truth telling, right? And really some unapologetic truth telling. Not that I ever had a problem with that before, but I've also learned there's a softness about it, right? Not a soft shoe, don't get it confused, but an understanding that sometimes in this work, you have to be hard with a little bit of tenderness, right? To make sure that you're getting the point across because everyone is in this kind of space of like, and so really kind of understanding how to be both in. How can I be strong and unapologetic, but also not cause harm or shut people down, right? So we learned that, and so going back to the idea of this idea, like let's make sure that we are in a space that's really allowed one, it's right next to the lake. And once we can get rid of all that people, folks are really gonna come in here and start building up and investing in it. Well, right now, we're taking the opportunity to say no. Yes, we want to invest in it. Yes, we want to build up. Yes, we want to clean up for and with our people. So many of us are pushing right now. We're going to build something new there. It needs to be an African Caribbean diaspora community over there that we are celebrating. And things that are built after the collective community that's already there. That's how our justice work shows up. A real clear sense of hospitality. We're hungry, we're going to feed you, but we're also going to make sure that you know we all know together that there is enough for everybody.
Thank you. We've tried for the first number of years to work so much on the community and needs specifically here, from billboards to liquor stores selling alcohol, minors to housing issues and to abandoned buildings. But in the last probably 15 years, there's really been a tremendous focus just on the violence. We realize we got all that and still our people are dead. That doesn't mean anything. It is my mindset that the most evil thing that I've ever seen in my life is a child in a casket, where our children are becoming an endangered species. And we live in an America that really doesn't seem to give a damn about black and brown babies being killed. And my mother thought there was never a move against the soft weapons until Highland Park happened. And all of a sudden Highland Park happened, and we continue to hear about it every single day. But this has been going on for decades in our community. And so we try to fight for the comprehensive approach that must be done. First, the society as a problem should not be normalized. That this is how it has to be. This is not normal. This is sick. I remember shortly after Sandy walking with a group of people up on marching and violence downtown, and I was walking with this white woman, probably in her 30s, who lived in the north side, and I said, what is it now that got you involved? What does it mean? She said, when I saw those babies in Highland Park, I saw my son and my daughter. And I said, but what about all the children that you called that didn't get killed week after week after week? And she said, I don't identify with them. And that's the root of the problem. Because we're a society that does not see black and white, black and brown children being killed as their children. They're about those children over there. And until we break that racist mentality, and we got the big thing for COVID, all in Illinois. Well, how can we get that all in Illinois against violence and against the shooting and killing? So we're trying to get from a very comprehensive approach from fighting entities like the NRA, who have made people think that they're even successful, that a gun makes you safer. But every statistic says that gun does not make you safer. A former NFL player, when I ran a panel together, he gave this remarkable testimony. He said, everybody gets out because of the money, because of the platform, people knowing me to say that I really needed a gun and going out by myself all the time, I needed to have a gun with me. So he finally bought a gun and had it in his car, where he went, he had it in his car and the seat. He said he was at a stoplight and a person was walking over to him. And he immediately reached and put his hand on the gun. And the man wanted direction of where to go. He said it convicted him in that moment. He got rid of his gun. Because the reality is, if you have a gun, that's the first thing you're going to go to. It becomes the first line of defense of how we handle it. If you're mad at your spouse, if you're mad at your job, if you're mad at people at church, your racism, your prejudice, your bigotry, it all comes out and you use the first thing that your tendency to go to now in this society is gun. We have a love affair of guns in America. We're a country that was born in violence, and now it's trickled down and violence has become part of how we operate in America. And so, it's insulting to me. Some months ago, we were arguing in Congress, whether you're the 18 or 21-year-old who buy a salt butter. Why would you be allowed to buy a salt butter no matter what age you are? It's a question for you. So trying to be able to keep legislation and laws undone, trying to be able to be equity and the inequality in neighborhoods and resources and education and housing and food and living in abandoned and neglected neighborhoods. People say, well, some people need more poverty. It's hard to be proud of your community when you walk out and see an abandoned and neglected community every single day. And the hands of the government is behind it. They have allowed the people to come in and drop a government car from some years ago, came in and dropped off a Nike bag full of guns over at Latin and told them to defend themselves. It's institutionalized as violence. It is a money maker. It has become a big money maker in this country. The thousands of dollars for programs, for law enforcement, for courts, and for lawyers. It is a big business in Chicago and in this country. I remember we were fighting tobacco in the Southern Line. And I testified to Congress that Congress about these, I will never admit that I was sentenced, I'll deny it, he will make it public. He said, but you gotta understand, we're not getting these cigarettes because of too much tax dollars to keep our country going. And now it's the same with violence. Violence is a money maker for this country, and it realizes that, and it's making money off of that. Now we have privatized prisons. That you have gun companies that invested in prisons. So they're making money on the guns, they're making money on the death of people going to jail for the gun. So it's trying to work with the purpose of a pen group here that is a massive group, unfortunately, of parents who all lost children in gun violence to be a support to them. Because even a high profile one, like the Pendleton and all the rest, when the cameras are there, it's fine, it's a big story. But they don't know that a week later that, this Pendleton or Nate Pendleton are calling at 4 in the morning and trying to take their life. They don't understand that parents are going through divorce and ended up in the hospital, that ended up on drugs, and that it's self-medicating, and all the things that happen. We live in traumatized communities. And so do the war, so you can't get healing till you get out of the war situation. You can deal with the trauma. But when you live in a war situation, you can't get that trauma. So it's catching. You're trying to help people become whole and become healthy, to love themselves and to love other people. So we purpose of our pen is a big support group that we do for parents and everything from spotting, help them through counseling, and free counseling service here for anybody in the community coming to free counseling, and they do it virtually. They don't want to come out. We also have a great youth which trains high school students in our high schools in the local area to be peacemakers and to be peacemakers amongst their peers. It's amazing to me, and I've thought for 4 years now, trying to say, why aren't we in preschool to senior year of high school teaching our children in the classroom how to be conflict resolution, how to be peacemakers in the community. The idea is always, well, most kids in our schools are not the problem in the street, but guess what? If you teach them and make them leaders, they can influence that person, then they make sure that they get down. We're trying again under the new administration. We'll see what happens. So we have the grade youth, and then we have the baby youth. These are 6 to 8-year-olds, so we're teaching them from preschool and kindergarten how to be peacemakers, how to do conflict resolution, how to go and fight, how to go after it, taking the sign and going to place and going to court and going to downtown and staying in front of America to teach them how to stand up and fight. They understand the spiritual songs and the favorite of mine says, make them hear you. And we try to teach you the understanding that the only way things are going to change is if we make them hear us. They don't hear unless we make them hear. So violence has been our primary thing for the last number of years.
Thank you, Congressman. Next question. chime in after. There are millions, hundreds of millions of Christians and clergy in this country. Not everyone stands for justice, even though it's really clear to many of us that Jesus is justice. Why is that so clear to you?
I wish you would answer that.
Now, let me say this. I'm going to say this, and I didn't want to have to say this, but we have a table of preachers, and this is the big sermon. I'm going not to preach a sermon right now.
I think that, I think it's all, I think it's Muslims, Jews, and Christians, almost speaking of Christians, being Christian. But I think that faith communities have lost themselves. They are no longer the prophetic voice they're called to be. They're supposed to be the ones sitting and throwing rocks at the windows and asking the questions, not sitting in benedictions and invocations and getting pictures on the wall next to some mayor or some elected official. We forgot our job and who we work for. The Bible is a God of justice. He loves justice. His first sermon, level the mountains, fill in the valleys, straighten the crooked, smooth the rough. But I think the church has become, trying to clean this up a little bit. I think today we're not building a church, we're building the golden calves all over again. We've stopped waiting on Moses to come down. We've stopped waiting for revelation. We've stopped waiting to get alone in the presence of God. And so we'd rather build our golden calves and break them all over again and worship ourselves and each other. And so I think the church, I said this last Sunday, we are masquerading Christianity. The Jesus I fell in love with is the Jesus who loves, is the Jesus who forgives, the Jesus who is inclusive, the Jesus who is affirming, the Jesus who joins together to see everybody as sister and brother. But now we created these Jesus, we hijacked Jesus, we hijacked the scriptures, and that has now become the norm. And so we use Jesus to weaponize our hate, to weaponize our meanness, to weaponize what we don't want to do. And so churches and synagogues and mosques forgot their books. And I think that's why we churches sometimes so hate worship, because we don't want to let go of the control and let God be in charge. I think that we've forgotten the fact that we're serving God and not ourselves. And so I think, we are masquerading Christianity, and I think that's why a lot of young people said they help with you. You look just like the world. You act just like the world. You're mean just like the world. You're exclusive just like the world. And so I think that last weekend, perfect example. A couple of Sundays ago, I was in the Sun Times and BBM Radio did a half-hour show and all about. I said that churches that are not doing anything in their community should lose their tax dollars. Well, you would have thought I said we're going to kill the wife and the firstborn of every pastor in the city of Chicago. I got crucified for it. A talk show directly to him. I Saturday spent 2 hours talking against me, talking about how can I do from a betrayer to the church, and I stand my ground. And we forget. People say to me, well, how do you get the membership to Saint Sabina? I said, all my Christian Academy and Englewood community. Our membership in the community, not those who sit in our group. What are those who join the church and sit in the community? Those are those who enlisted in the army to be trained up, to be soldiers, to go out and build the kingdom of God. But we serve this infectious little in our churches and serve each other. Every person who's talking to says about what they're doing to affect the community. But I think most people would ignore this is the exception. It's not the norm of what church is today. And so we feel like Pastor telling, well, we don't place in our community because most of our members are not from this neighborhood. Then move. I mean, if you are planted, God called you to this church, planted in this neighborhood, then do something in that neighborhood or you are closed. So I think that ended up. I think the reason people, churches are not doing, people are not, I think we realize, and I'm sure others up here can say this, is when you stand up against not only the powers of evil, but when you stand up against Christians who come to your churches and buy a Joel Osteen feel good church, that when you do that, Christians say, that's not why I come to church. I come to feel good. I'm going to be patted on the back. I got a hard week. We got this job. That's not why I come to church. So when you stand up and say, no, we're going to go out and march tonight. We're going to go this way. We're going to walk every kind of we get people back up. You get attacked from people that they've been trained in another way to believe it. And so I think our God is to, first of all, before we're going to really be able to build the kingdom of God in earth, we got to build the kingdom of God in churches.
I just wanted to add to that, that really has become like the institution, like a movement, right? Not a t-shirt that says Christians cross God and it says follower of Jesus.
Right.
Because I think what Mel says, and I think what Sabina is not worshiping Jesus, it's start following Jesus. Like really remembering what the whole purpose of the body is.
I think one of the things that really resonates here with me, I think, and Father Pfleger said so many wonderful things about the families in the church. And as a fellow Catholic female, I would say, but I'm so proud to hear you talk like that, because St. Paul always said the same, we're a geographical parish. Our parishioners are every member of the community. I don't care if black, brown, purple, ugly, smart. It doesn't matter your hours. We love you. You are ours. We are yours. We are beholden to you. You are beholden to us. But one of the key words you said in this question is not just clergy, but Christians. And I'm not a member of the clergy, but I am an undercover Mexican. And I think Father Pfleger is a little undercover too, but we won't talk about that. But I think what that means is that my entire life I have gotten a front seat to racism. Because people look at me and think I'm a member of the good old boy club. And I've heard some of the nastiest, disgusting. Have you heard it? Because when you look like us, that means we're holding a sign that says, tell us you're ugly. All your ugliness, tell us about it. We want to hear it and we will appreciate it. And so I think it's not just about the church, but it's us as individuals that have to open ourselves up and say, where are we failing in Christ our Lord? Where are we failing in? And I see many members of churches who have this disposition like there is an us and a them. And Christ didn't teach us and them. He taught all of us together. So I think that it's not just the churches that are failing, but it's the individual. It's the woman who shows up at our church, but is so comfortable in her pew that she'll leave her purse there open. If anyone leaves your purse and your pew open, you are not inviting the right people to church. You need to not know the people next to you. You need to not know everyone around you. Your doors need to be open to the people you trust with your purse and the people you might not. Everyone deserves God. It's not just up to the clergy to make that happen. It's up to every one of us.
Real quick. So the question is why is it so clear what driving and ditto. For me personally, my parents met at an Operation Breadbasket meeting, and they were both intricately involved in Black church. So I don't have an understanding outside of Jesus and justice. It's kind of in DNA, as my brother would say. So that's one piece. How we translate that, I think, is the work of ministry, right? One way that I think that is important for what all my comrades have said up here is Reverend Aaron that said, what did he say? Don't worship Jesus, follow you. In that scripture we love to quote, Follow me, I'll make you fishers of men. We look at that as an evangelistic effort, right? How many people can you get to church? And nothing could be further from the truth as to what that meant. There's a book you'll pick up called Binding the Strong Man by Shed Myers. Binding the Strong Man, a political reading of Mark's Gospel. Fishers of men was a euphemism. It is a euphemism for those who would judge the rich and the wealthy and the powerful for what it is that they're doing to poor people. Right? So when Jesus says, follow me, I'll make you fishers of men, he's saying, follow me so we can turn this piece out. He's not telling you to follow him so we can, come to church on Sunday and he's saying, follow me so we can come and upend this system that is displacing everybody. That's what Christians are following Jesus. That's all of us. If we don't follow Jesus, that's our work, and that's our work to share. So I think again, in addition to what everyone else has already shared, I think that following Jesus is the, as I understand it is the work, and Vernon Johnson, who was Dr. King's predecessor at Dexter Avenue Baptist Church in Montgomery, he said, if you see a good fight, get in it.
I think we should wrestle with the question, how is it that folks who are racist, folks who are homophobic, folks that are supremacists, how is it that they feel comfortable sitting in churches? The church should be the most dangerous place for people like that. And the fact that they feel comfortable like that is something we got to wrestle with.
And how is it that when they come, if we say something about it, our people are saying, ooh, you better be quiet.
Yeah.
Ooh, you better, ooh, don't say that, you're gonna upset. Wow.
I told today, we had an intern from the University of Chicago Divinity School, and having conversations with her about how to be prophetic. And she said she was wrestling with her right to address certain things. And so we talked about making people uncomfortable. So you all heard this, that we are called to comfort the afflicted, but to afflict the comfortable. People are comfortable being racist and they walk right in the crowd about it. There should be something coming from the word that is afflicting them in their hatred and causing them to repent. And it doesn't happen. It doesn't happen because they know there are safe spaces in the places that they go. But the places that they go are not called to justice. And so the work there needs to be done. So let's
Real quick. Because I think the other piece of that is not just in churches, but in classrooms. That's a ministry. We talk about ministry of social justice, and what you want, the ministry of classrooms as well.
And seminary.
On the intersection between race, ethnicity, gender, class, and sexuality. And there was a gentleman who was a chaplain of the New York Fire Department who came to take that class in the January intensive. We were talking about racism. And Dr. Thomas did a fishbowl exercise where she had the white students in the fishbowl talking about racism, and the rest of us had to pay attention and not speak. And the gentleman said that the firemen in his station often tell racist jokes around him, and they know he's the chaplain. To your point, we're a seminary, right? And he says, they know I'm the chaplain, they tell racist jokes around me. And I don't address their racism because they may not come to me when they really need me. Like if they're going through a divorce, or if something has happened to their children. And I'm sitting there thinking, I can't say anything because I'm on the outside. Like somebody challenged them that you don't think they need you now when they're racist? Yeah. You think this chaplain, your job is to that point, that it is everywhere, it permeates our society, and it is not just for those of us who work in the community and anywhere and everywhere we see it. And so with that, let's talk about when we get tired. Quick story again, I do get to tell some of my stuff too. This Easter Eve, I still had some work to do on my Easter message, and I was driving down the street, and again, my work is anti-violence, and I saw 5 little boys, could have been over 6, playing with toy Uzis. They had a pile of guns, big toy guns. And all I saw was the next generation being raised up. And and I still got a sermon right at Easter, and it messed me up. I wanted to throw in the towel for because we're doing the work of anti-violence now, trying to deal with 12, 13, 14, and I see 5, 6-year-olds with toy Uzis, and their dad standing on the porch. It took the air out. And I had to find it, but they got it Sunday. Because I went there, I talked about going to the tomb. Sometimes we got to be willing to go to the tomb. So tell me about a time when you have felt weary in the world. And there's many things that bring weariness. But what would you be willing to share? Because we're going to come out of that the next question. But let's talk about when it does get tired. When it does get weary. You know, I left it open. We'll talk about when you get tired.
Thank God for dispensaries. I want to say a couple things. And first of all, you have got to be rooted in your own faith. You can't preach a God who is not the Lord of your life. And that faith has to be centered to your faith. We look at movements that have been successful, whether it's been King, whether it's been Malcolm, whether it's been Elijah, whether it's been Gandhi, and with Hinduism. You're not rooted in something bigger than you. You're either going to get burned out or bought out. You're going to go somewhere that you're not going to be able to sustain it. If you've got to know when you feel like a complete failure, this is not that. And God has got this. I think you've got to be rooted and understand that God is with you and you're walking in. I think what we try to teach our people, sometimes we have to remember ourselves that, you know, that you got to be rooted in your faith. And because I'm a Christian, I'm a prisoner of hope. Let's say I wake up in the morning and God says, I quit. I mean, it's good. We're going to win. I don't know when we're going to win, but we're going to win. I read it at the end of the book. But I think the other thing, so faith, your own faith is absolutely non-negotiable. I think second is understand this is a marathon. You know, we're in a microwave mentality. We want to see the fruit of what we do right now. And that's not going to happen. You know, Jesus died. You know, 2,000 years ago when I was born almost 2,000 years ago. But for us now. So it's a marathon race. You plant trees that somebody else has made the fruit of. And you're okay with it. So you don't have to see the win, you know it's going to win. You know love is going to overcome hate, peace is going to overcome violence, justice is going to overcome injustice. It's going to happen. If I know that, you know, then I know this fight is fixed. Then I understand when I feel like I'm losing, I feel like it's hopeless and we're going backwards, I got to remember it's a marathon. I had a good time right now, something's coming after me. But the race continues. I just got to do my part right now. I think you got to have a circle of friends that you can vent with, that you can share with, that you're just my Pfleger, you're not, you know, father, you're not pastor, all that kind of thing. People that you can connect with and vent with and love and be loved by. And I think lastly is you got to have some heroes. I
been very blessed to have been exposed to a lot of heroes in my life that and I get discouraged and I get say, he's doing it, she's doing it, they did it. You need people. Rick is a hero for me because he's understanding our preaching justice. And every time I hear preaching, it gives me, stirs me up, it gives me courage. You know, to hear my right, the Cornell West, the Harry Belafonte, the folks that inspired me. When Harry Belafonte, how much he formed me years ago. And it hurt my back how much what I believe today he deposited in me. I think you got a hero that you even if you never met him, you can read him, you can study him, you can learn about him. That at a certain point, you got to realize this is a long race. You're just one little piece in the puzzle. And then lastly, your faith can be so consumed with you that you know, I got you. When you feel like the biggest loser in the world, I felt like that many times. And then I got to say, like, there's no God in this kingdom, and He's got it, and He's going to win.
I think, an example, I can give you a specific example of feeling weary. I'm going to share with my members of the Social Justice Committee. When it comes to environmental racism, we are fighting a fight, and we know we are right. And when you know you are right, but you continue to lose, it is exhausting. It's exhausting. So we have in McKinley Park an asphalt company called Nat Asphalt. And we're already in an overcrowded industrial area. We said to the city, just don't give any more permits. COVID happened and we released extended temporary permits. We brought our babies, I'm a mother of 5, 3 of my babies are here right now. And we brought our babies to a march, picketed, and we wore gas masks. And my son, held a sign that said, I can't breathe. And we marched, and it was beautiful, and we lost. And I got to look my son in the eyes and say, baby, you are right. You deserve cleaner air. You look dang cute in that outfit. And if they should have listened to anybody, it should have been you. We also were surrounded by powerful people. I got Evan Lozano here from Living United Methodist. We got representation from the Southwest Environmental Alliance. I'm surrounded by powerful, incredible, fearless leaders, and we lose over and over again. And I think, for me, it causes weariness, and I think using everything Father Pfleger just said helps pull me out.
It's been, I saw, and it'll be scratches. And answer the questions and anti-anxiety medication. Yeah, it's been a lot, right? And so I think one of the things that, on top of what Thulani just said, I think that even when you are feeling safe, that you still hold on to trust, right? That when you are confused or angry or weary or maybe just throw your hands up, like I can't believe that 5-year-old baby was shot in front of our church and his mama is grieving and I don't know what to say to her. Every time she pops up on Facebook and what can you say to my mom, 5-year-old, had a bullet about this big go through her baby's head. And so lament has been how I've been received. To be able to look at God and say, what the heck, right? And know that it doesn't mean I don't believe, it doesn't mean I can't faith. It means that the one who can take it all is the one I'm holding. Yeah, I can't go and so really finding that space and that permission and giving permission. Like when I can't cry anymore, the only thing I can do is invite other people to cry.
Right.
Yeah, so I So this is, the words of the mouth, songs for the struggle, are responding to a song. And I wrote this in response to Psalm 100. But your favor, O Lord, you have established me as a strong mountain. You hid your face, I was dismayed. And I wrote that being strong means taking a beating and still showing up in the meeting room with a smile. God, please don't do me any favors. And if being strong means working 2 jobs, having a side hustle, and still robbing people just to pay Paul, God, please don't do me any favors. And if being strong means holding my shit together, riding tight like Spanx while breathing, my breathing stays shallow and my voice restricted, my body agonizing and rigid, God, please don't do me any favors. If being strong means fighting day after day after day with no real wins on the board, God, please don't do me any favors. Favor ain't fair, favor ain't easy, favor ain't for punks. I'm tired, God, and like you, I want to look away, to not see, to unsee, to forget. Is this even possible? How do you do it? Want to do me a favor? Put me down as a no for the morning yes. I'm not going to make it this time. My heart is shattered. My soul is fatigued. My body is traumatized. This strong mountain needs to rest. Stay alive. Maybe next time. Thanks anyway. And some people really have a hard time. And the Bible, especially, in the Old Testament, reminds us that if you have a right relationship with God, God will do it all. Yeah. And the best thing to do is to fight with God, not to turn away from God. And that's the only thing I believe in. The only thing.
Everybody say lamentations. Say it again, lamentations. It's a book in the Bible for a reason. Dr. Marilyn just told us it is Christian to lament.
The only thing I would add is, it's complicated. It's complicated. It's complicated. And, in addition to what everyone has already said, of course, the faith and the friends, and this is what Father Mike said about friends, being with people with whom we can exchange energy. Because there's something about being with somebody who, like you said, you don't have to put on airs with. There's a couple of books that I'm going to refer to. 3 books that have been holding me down. One is, I'm going to talk about that one last. One is called Homecoming. It's by Dr. Tamar Bryant, Thema Bryant. Tamar Bryant, Homecoming. Overcoming traumas when you claim your authentic self. If you don't get nothing else, get that book, because what she talks about is the journey that many of us have to go through to come back home to ourselves. Right? And so when you're going through justice fight, you're going through when you heal, you live, right? Sometimes going through stuff can take you away from yourself. So coming back home so that you are feeling at home in yourself is very, very important, right? Another book by Richard Rohr called Falling Upward, Spirituality from the 2 Halves of Life. It's a great book. It's really become a Bible for me in some senses. And he deals with what it means to fall in those different areas of life. And it's complicated pieces because the one that you lean on might be the one that you're mad at. Right? God, I know me, right? What the hell is going on? Like, Jesus on the cross, God, thank you, right? So it becomes complicated. And the wrestle in that relationship is, I think, what everyone has already talked about in terms of lamenting and all this type of thing. Last thing is simple. If you look at Jesus' life, he had a rhythm of retreat and then return, right? And so Mark's first chapter says he got up very early in the morning, went out to a quiet place and there he prayed, right? He got alone with some solitude, got some more of that. And while he's doing that, everybody's looking for him, right? And so he's out getting some refueling. And then when they get there, he says, well, come on, that's what we've been doing in the first place, right? So the last book that I will refer you to is a book called Rest is Resistance. Trisha Hurst is the author's name. And she's known on Instagram, the Nat Bishop. The Nat Bishop. Because what she says is that we have, and sometimes it's out of just needing to survive, right? But we have come into agreement with a society that wants to extract everything from us. And so we keep going and going and going and going. And sometimes it's just to survive, right? Then just enough for the stick, right? But what she talks about is even in those periods where we have to go and go and go, inserting intentional periods of rest. Because when you get a bit of rest, it can be revolutionary against a system that wants to continue to extract, wants you to be on a hamster wheel all the time, wants you to do this, do that, and it's hard to do because we've been raised that, that's what it means to work hard. That's what, no, you are becoming co-conspirator in your own oppression. We are becoming co-conspirators in our life. And I'm saying we, I'm just saying that it's a challenge, but rest is extremely important. And so, meditation and mindfulness, all of those different types of pieces that are available to us, I think are important with regard to meditation.
Thank you. Well, I'm going to answer about 3 questions at one time. So let's go to victory. Father Pfleger mentioned having heroes, right? Those who have been examples, who have fought the fight and have lasted. We mentioned here in other context. So let's talk more about victories, justice victories, and heroes. I often reflect on civil rights movement, right? And not just the civil rights movement, but the sermon, I was it was Dr. King's last sermon, when he talks about getting the letter from the little girl when he was stabbed. And she said, I'm glad you didn't sneeze. And he goes to a river, he's glad he didn't sneeze, because if he had sneezed, the thing was that the knife would have pierced his aorta and would have bled out. He goes to a serious, if he had sneezed, he would not have experienced, and then he runs through the victories that they had that they accomplished in the movement before he was assassinated. And I believe there was the last message. So let's start to talk about some victories of justice that encourage you when you have to reflect and say that we know we're right and we know we can't win and stay on the wall. What are some victories that come to mind for you? And who are some heroes of justice that should come to mind for you?
So, I think we have a lot of victories at St. Paul Church, and I'm going to talk about the smaller ones because I think that we all have to find the victories that we can see right in front of us. Because for me at least, when we talk about those bigger ones, sometimes they seem unattainable. But we've had a lot of issues with violence in Wilson. We've had a lot of shootings, and we really set a course to create communal spaces for the community to interact with each other, and also for our youth to be employed and have opportunities. And we had volunteers show up in a Catholic church, and for those of you who are Catholic, and you can volunteer in a camp in a Catholic church, God is doing something. That doesn't happen very often. And they built a coffee shop, and they hired children, we hired high school students, and we talked about entrepreneurship, and then now they're in college, and they're inviting their friends, and there's a space that old people and young people are all together, and this cafeteria has become this beautiful space, and it was a fight to get it, and there was a fight to do it because this is a very small victory, but it's because when you want to fight for any justice initiative, you have to fight a culture. Now, you said something about, like, if you don't like it, move. Well, I used to say, if you don't like what we're doing in this church, I'm not going to kick you out. You're welcome here, but I'm going to outnumber you 10 to 1. And I did. We did. St. Paul did. There are 10 phenomenal leaders to every one monkey wrench. And that is power. That means that the cafeteria or the coffee shop, called Holy Grounds, by the way, if anybody wants a cup of coffee in Pilsen, shameless good, come on over to Holy Grounds, give me a cup of coffee. But what that means is that we have young people engaged in dialogue on what's happening in their community. One of the most important influential, two of the most important influential people in my life are my parents. My mom and dad were community organizers on the south side of Chicago. I grew up going to Catholic churches, Lutheran churches, Baptist Sundays were very long for me because they ran a faith-based organization called the Miller Foundation, and my mother was my father was a founder, and my mother ran Hills Neighbors Community Council, which launched the Athletic Soul, maybe Copanes High School, worked with Ecuador to help bring disabled Latinos and bilingual opportunity for service, right? But these people didn't do these things on large stages. They started these things in church basements. They opened up a pot of coffee and some cups, and they sat down and they said, "Why are we pissed and can we fix it?" And so I think that for me, some of these little victories that I'm seeing around my community when there's an older person who welcomes, we had a young guy who was very active in a gang. He had his whole abdomen covered up in bumps because he'd been shot, everything in a drain, and he needed service hours, and my pastor, Father Michael Enright, was just, he drives me crazy, and he's one of the most wonderful men in the world, but he made him a greeter at the church. He said, "We volunteer hours, you greet people," and he had the word Satan tattooed on his neck, from here to here. A lot of you kids say, "Oh, no, you saw this guy," and he'd be there like, "Hello, welcome to St. Paul Church." And when I saw these little old ladies like, "Well, hello, young man," I thought, "You're a part of the 10. And we've made the monkey wrenchers, my 1 to 10, a little less comfortable being racist, isolating, mean. They're just less comfortable. And that, I think, is a victory for the parish. It's going to be a victory for the community. And our vision is that that's going to outpour all of this vision.
This will be our last question.
I think that there are probably several of us on this panel that were part of this victory, but I just haven't made it. Winning the pre-trial fairness that passing that is a huge victory. So much so that it's being applauded, of course. And as we continue to do this work of anti-violence work, we're also at the same time making sure that we're holding the police accountable to our communities and the communities that they're called to serve. We know, those of us who live this every single day know that it has to be both and. We don't need nobody telling us, "Well, what about black on black crime?" or "What about brown on brown crime?" We don't need anybody telling us. We're working on that while we're also holding the police accountable. So on top of that, having the district council elected, that's the very first time thing, and it's the first in the nation, and people are watching us. And so we have to be mindful, we have to stay in collaboration, we have to build power, and we have to win. Because folks are waiting for us to lose and to mess up. And what I say to my folks all the time, this is not about perfection. This is where we mess up. This is where we give up even, I talked about, being tired of the things that I've had to keep moving. But, one of the things we can't do is begin to always think about what we're not going to see, right? We have to be willing to look past what we're not going to be able to see. And like Father Mike said, plant those seeds. And so some of us have been doing this work, and now we're being able to see a little bit at a time. But folks don't want us to win, so we have to stay in it together. We have to stay in it together.
Thank you.
I think, Mike now over there, like, you gotta say, "Oh, that guy did this." I think one of our victories at University Park, you know, Maryland just said, so sometimes you gotta start over, right? But one of our victories is, or has been, again, we're in the food apartheid system. And one of the things that based on, you know, what we learned and heard, some members decided to create a gardening initiative, right? Where, and for like 3 or 4 years before COVID, you know, would harvest it and just get it out on Sunday at the church, right? Because there's no fruit, fresh fruits and vegetables. So let's talk about, you know, honoring small victories. That's a small victory, but it's a victory nonetheless. Because what it does is, what it does is, it shows us that, yo, if we can grow our own food, there ain't nothing we can't do. Particularly in a system where, you know, it's easy to get flaming monster and fresh fruit and all that, but if we can grow our own food, there's really not nothing we can do. Now, we have to get that garden back up and going, because right now it looks like, you know, that place in the wheels with Michael Jackson was singing, you can't win. So we have to get it back on, but I would say that's a big, we got these on that road. So again, I think in terms of heroes, heroes, sheroes, starting at home, my parents are my hero. My mother and stuff around my dad to this day. Other folks that we think about, certainly Ella Baker, who said, give people light in their shoulder. If you show people light, they'll make it and find a way. For my kind of political entree, my parents had, we were at church on Sunday morning and then Sunday evening, we would pass out leaflets for Harold Washington, right? As a 10 and I was 10, Member 6. So those are some of the folks who formed, and of course my pastor, Dr. Jeremiah Wright, is a hero for not only his courage, his clarity, for the way he cusses, all of those things, particularly in the midst of one of the things he taught us is that you don't change who you are because of where you are. And particularly during that 2008 run, when folks who let him walk away from him, he stood on who he was. So watching that, even through the pain of watching that, makes him one of my heroes. And whether my brother was like me next to him.
I'm just going to mention 2 victories, 2 types of victories that really continue to stir me up and I feel so mine is that, and one is St. Sabina. I came here in 75, there's about 75 people. They told me it was going to close in 3 years. We cut out bingo and cut out Las Vegas night the first day. And in about 4 months, we lost 30 people from the church. Was it real affirming? Didn't make me go to sleep well at night. We said we'd go stick with teaching the Bible, teach the scriptures, and what they told you on God's word and trust in. And if it's closed, then teach it, then it's closed. And I looked at one of my dreams here was to create a community, a church that saw the community as its membership and create leaders who were willing to fight, who saw themselves as an army, not members of the church, but an army for God. And then what we do outside these walls, what makes us Christian, not what we do on Sunday mornings. So I looked today and I got a bunch of crazy numbers. Some of them are at the table right here. They've been on a bus and breaking a place, they're going to jail with me countless times. We had like 50 of our members arrested one time outside of a drug place on 159th Street. And but I see how they have embraced, I think of Jesus, who is the real Jesus, who is the most radical person that's ever lived. And I see their heart and their thirst for God and to live out that faith. And to see how this church has become a servant to this community and see members who are willing to fight. You know, everybody just has to get up in a minute and go fight and not afraid. Whether it's Fifth Third Bank or whether it's City Hall, we're gonna fight. So that's a hope and a victory for me when I look out and tell members, see them out there walking every Friday night. I'm thinking, what is going on with these people? Crazy. The other thing is when I see young people and adults, there's a guy who was a major shooter here in the street. I don't even know how many people he killed. He now drives a train for CPA. And I told him, I said, if I see you on that train, I'm not getting on because I know you're going. And I pray for all the people on that train. But he's driving the train. I see another guy who was a shooter on the street. And he was working, never finished high school, working in a warehouse, we got him a job, and they saw his mathematical mind. And what a genius he was a man, and now he's in the finance department of that company. And yesterday, over a youth building, and I see his brothers, 4 brothers walk in, who 3 of them got shot in front of the house, and one of the doctors said he was gonna die. And to see that he's now coming wanting to get a job, and all of them, how they really see how God kept them through all this, and the mother through this. Today, a grown brother who was shot twice, been in prison, and run in today, came in here to talk about something, and he's now working construction for a year and a half in a place. So that's victory to me. And I see ultimately, I believe with myself, and I think all of us, all of these that ever wanted to do besides love us is change. Create people who understood that we're agents of change. And that we're lovable and we can literally change the world. And when I see that in this members in this church, and when I see that in folks' lives, I've seen transformation and change. I don't have to see, I probably will never see violence end in my lifetime. I'll never see equity in this neighborhood maybe in my lifetime. But when I see a brother who's now living his life and grateful to be alive, driving a car in an apartment, married, with kids who used to kill people, that's all the victory I need.
I forgot to mention, and we forget this, again, it goes back to what are we doing, producing, right? But we create a space that's a wellness center, and that is something that I think is one of our greatest victories, because we realize that we have to love on our people, give them a place to exhale, give them a place to really just be. And it's amazing, the kids are dancing and they're free and they're see them just like do their thing, and we're gonna.
For our panel, hosting the hour, with the microphone, if you have questions, we will take questions now. Raise your hand. And will come. We are also very grateful for Dr. Kim Lodge.
Hello, my name is Anna. I'm from St. Paul Church, that's my sister. We both grew up in a home, like she said, with parents who fought from the day I was little, from rapes, Cesar Chavez, all the way up to now. We're still fighting, right, for our own communities and what happens. My question, and I deal with all of you, is we've been taught since we were young that power comes from people. if thousands of children, kids, teenagers, can go to our magnificent mile and screw it up as much as they possibly can, why can't we as people, as the four people that are sitting here, as people from different churches around us, why can't we rally in the same way? And how do we get that done? Because my fight is your fight. My fight is your fight. Our fight is together. My fight is your fight. We're all fighting the same battle. So why are we doing it together and how do we do that?
You gonna answer your sister?
First of all, I'm really proud to say I think we all here are kind of collaborative workers in justice. And I think one thing that we all need to do better as Christians is let our parish or our congregations know that and say, we're working collaboratively, we're working together, we're doing things together, and we do need to do more together. But I think today's panel in the Third Day Church is a prime example of us coming together in that way. And I think this is us saying, yes, let's do this and more. And I've met these other leaders, and we're part of this cohort, so there's four of us here, and I just find so much love, and I'm so inspired by these other churches and what they're doing, and we're already talking about all the fun things we're going to do together. So I think, why can't we? I think we can. The question is, will we? Because we know we should. And that, I think, has to do with church leadership challenging our sheep to get uncomfortable and to hang out with people they don't know, maybe break some bread, and fight some fights.
My sister up there has your back. Answer my sister's question, dude. To your sister. I want to come at it from another way too. I think the third day project represents us doing some stuff together, right? So something can come out of this that we can all do together as one, right? I think that's one thing. I think what also should be noted is that we are doing stuff together. We may not be doing it in the same place, quote unquote. You're in the hills. We're on 7-1. And we're in the Westwood Park. We're in Rogers Park. I think what happens is we don't let others know what we're doing. Sometimes we feel like we're in silos. Right? We feel like we're in silos, it can be exhausting and long. But to know now, I got some folks at Rogers Park and Phil, and 7 nights doing work. And that's what they think is one of the questions that will help sustain us when you get tired. You know what? I can't stop laughing. Listen, if Mike is doing something, I gotta do something. If St. Paul is doing something, we gotta keep it going because she said we need coffee. Fresh water ground, you need it. But I think we are. I think we shift a little bit. That's not to excuse that we can do more, but I think we need to start with where we are.
And I think there needs to be intentionality. And I think that there has been, even in the city, and I know that the new mayor is talking about this, like how we play our commitment to build across racial lines, across economic lines, theological lines, all that. How do we begin to build that collective power that the right or those in power don't want us to have? And I know that I earlier I was saying something about imperfection, I think I lost my thought. But we get caught up in trying to be perfect. But what we need to be is committed. We don't have to be perfect, but we do need to be committed. And that's something that the right, they don't all agree on everything, but they agree they're going to win. So they find that common friends that can win. And those of us who are more on the left, or those, let's use their language, those of us who are more justice-minded, because we're also living it in many cases, we're living it and breathing it, we don't have the luxury to sort of, like sometimes always make those decisions, but we can decide that we're gonna come together on what we agree on, stop seeking perfection in our relationship, but seek right relationship and build that power. Because we have it, we had it from day one. But we believe the lie that's been told to us that we don't. And so I think we need to reclaim power as biblical, as God given, and as something that the Spirit in this Pentecost season continues to call us to, right?
Awesome. And to case in point, look at the diverse power in this room that came together today. Sometimes we can open our eyes and see
Fighting together, but they don't want us to know we're fighting together. We're not the only people angry about pollution. There's a lot of people angry about pollution, but they like to keep us divided. I'm fighting with you. I didn't even know you before today. I'm fighting with you. I'm fighting with you. I don't know if you know this, Father, but we have the exact same church. We use the exact same language. We have the exact same culture. We have the exact same mentality. We didn't know that. So I do think we already are fighting together. We don't know our arms are linked, but they are.
what a beautiful vision. Thank you. Next question.
With all the duties that you have, spiritual duties that you have, how did you deal with burnout when you're doing every time all the time and the violence and time?
Corona. You know, I think we all go through anxiety, hurt, pain, and being alone. We all do that. You know what? So do all the people in our community. You know, and what do we tell them? Your faith and your fellowships and friends and people to gather with is those two, I think, that take us through it. I mean, yeah, I've been here 48 years. They've been trying to visit me for 48 years. I've been suspended twice, accused twice. I mean, I don't know what they can do to shoot me at the cathedral. So and I say that only to say that I have gone through, I've watched friends walk away. I've watched other pastors who were tight with me and distance themselves, saying, well, I can't be connected, but if it's true, I mean, I don't want to be connected with them. So I've gone through it, and I think we've all gone through our various different lives, and we go through hurt, we go through anxiety, we go through pain, and we go through loneliness. And those are real, and we can't deny them, try to pretend they don't exist. But at the same time, I think if we tell when people come to us like that, is, you know, I can't tell a mother I'm holding who just until her child just later told her he died, and you tell her all you've got right now is your faith and your trust in God, you know. And you have arguments and fight and wrestle with them and person out if you need to, whatever you need, God can handle us. And you work through your faith. And then I think you find some people that you link up with and that you know, like I said before, that you can just cry with, curse with, fall apart with, and it's okay. So I think having a circle of friends that, you know, Peter, James, and John were Jesus, those were his three. You know, when he needed to get alone, when he needed to go up to the mountain, whatever it was. I think you need that inner circle that you can just vent with, pray with, cry with, get mad with. And I think you got to work through your faith and whatever it is with God. I went through some of those times when I was out with accusation, and I told God, you know, I don't want to talk to you anymore. I don't want to talk how do you let people agree with it? And so then that prayed, I prayed, you would talk to me. And I got real upset. So you finished your gift. You ready to talk to them? And I think we go through that. It's a process, and be okay with that. And work through our faith, struggle through our faith, but know Scripture is right. He's got me in common with his hand. He knows what fears in my head. He knows my hurt and my pain and my anger, and he can. So people.
Thank you. We have time for one more question, and I saw it in that there, but of course, we have to let the young man as well. So we'll take two quickly.
So you all, I'm Joshua Graves. That's my mom. I think I did pretty good. You all talk generally about building your own army, like just a great community to fight alongside. Now, you are entrepreneurs, freedom fighters, you are all amazing at this. But and what you did here to assemble us is amazing. My question is, I know you guys aren't like a fantastic force and solve all world problems on your own. You need to build your own army of 100, 200,000 across the world to get your opinions out and heard. How do you build that? How do you make your garden work? And once you plant those seeds, how do you make sure weeds don't come into effect and infect your garden?
Now I know why you want to appreciate you talk to them.
I was just thinking about an organizing book that's coming out by the United Church of Christ, in the opening, one of the opening quotes by Audrey Lord is, "Without unity, there is no liberation." And so I think the more we have these types of conversations, and then also have more intimate conversations. They have to be like this, where we're celebrating the work that's happening, like this is the group that's already doing the work, but then we also want to talk to folks that maybe aren't doing the work yet, right? And begin to sort of create those different pockets of folks that are following, right? And so when you talk about this army, it's as you've already mentioned, as Donna mentioned, maybe we're not all in the same place, but we're each congregation is forming its own core team, its own power team, and then that work continues. That's the only way we're going to be able to do work is to keep talking about it, building relationships around the work. Not just talking about it, how do folks connect to it? Someone mentioned earlier about how do we make sure we're all pulling together? Well, because we can realize the connection of some of these things. We may not look the same, and they may not even hit us the same, but for example, the violence around children. We can all agree, not one person, I don't care where you live, what color you are, where you grew up, nobody wants to bury their child. We can all agree on that. That is the way we come together and begin to let go of the other thing. And those are the things that we'll start to see the connections. They struggle to clean water just like whatever. Or mortgage foreclosure. When we first started organizing, people would say, why are you trying to talk to folks in the North Shore? Well, if you're really going to change a structure in a system, you don't just fix poor people. You talk to people with the money and they know what's up. Mortgage foreclosure and to lose your family house. It's to lose your family house. You know, I feel different in Englewood than in Hyde Park. So if it's your mama birthday house, you want your house, right? So we need to help people see these things. We gotta do that. And then let's begin to build some momentum. That's why it's a movement. We gotta keep having, it's just like voting. We can't just talk to people about get out and vote. When it's time to vote, we have to keep them organized and educated between things so they're ready when it's time. Right?
Yeah. And I think too, you have to be wary program. We're trying to just bring Christ to people. And I told our leaders, be very careful for the next few weeks. We are doing something radical in God's house, and the devil will come for us. You will have a tire blow on your way there. Your son is going to say something, not my son, somebody else's son, disrespectful to you on your way there. You're going to have infighting. There will be gossip and insecurity among your own table. Don't get it twisted. We are not broken. The devil is coming for us because he knows we are doing God's work. So when you build your team, you cannot eliminate weeds. Right away, you have to prepare everyone that the devil will come and he will make you tired and insecure and sad and broken and hurt.
First of all, thank you for the question, very, very exciting. One, start letting others said already. One, the way to do it is one, plant seeds. Right? Plant seeds in each trees you may not see. Somebody else may be different. That's one. Plant seeds. Number two, in terms of finding your team to fight with, you find your tribe by being your authentic self. When you are your most authentic self, those that gravitate to you. Now, when they gravitate to you, when you have that tribe, realize that even putting that army together, you may not have the most numbers. It's not about numbers, it's about things. Now, if you read Gideon, God said it was 32,000. God got 31,700. He had 300 that went, right? And they won with 300, right? So it's not about numbers. Last thing is what your mom just said. When they first grow, beans and wheat look just alike. As you keep growing and getting into it, you'll find out which weeds to cut. And I mean cut.
Amen. Thank you.
First and foremost, I'm a little town pastor of Lincoln United Methodist Church in Iowa. And it's more kind of a two-part question, or maybe a question and a comment. First, I wanted to let you all know that our church has been attacked by the white supremacists times. And I remember going and speaking to some of the elders and superiors of my church, and they go, why do you think we keep coming to your church? And I said, well, why do you think they don't come to your church at all? But what I wanted to say is that we're living in a time right now where just won an election, we're very excited about it. And like 4 years ago, we won an election in Washington, and right afterwards, the racists and the white supremacists went to organize that. It was called like the Zodiac and everybody was called. And now they're coming back again, and I think we have an opportunity to not, with the leadership that we have today as we had then, is to come together because they're creating tension between the black and brown community. And June 8th, which is next Thursday, will commemorate the 40th anniversary of the assassination of Louis Gonzaga, my brother, right after the election of Washington. And we're going to be hosting a Black and Brown Unity concert and a panel discussion. We have everybody in. So I was going to ask Father Pfleger if he would join us on that because we want to really show the Rainbow Coalition. But I wanted to let everyone know as well that it's time for us not to fall for what's going on because we all need influx of the immigrants. It's causing tension. But we have to ask why are they leaving? Or why do people leave the South to come north? Right? Because you're fleeing something. And I think that we have to raise those parallels, we have to see how much we have our likenesses from, and not allow those to divide us because they win. And we can live and work together. And I just wanted to show another separation of family, and we have this fight every day in our community now. don't really hate a lot, but I think it's starting to see CMS, what they're doing to our kids and taking our kids away from our families, and they're really not providing ways for those families who love them to be able to keep their kids with them. And I think that that's a battle that we're all gonna have to take on, because it's evil what is happening, it's a money-making business, and they're keeping our kids away on purpose and away from those who love them. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Can we just give God praise one more time for our parents and for your service? It's been an awesome evening, don't yet there will be closing remarks by Jocelyn and closing prayer by Father Pfleger. Thank you for just being an amazing audience and just continue to keep your eyes open to see what God is doing. We talked about it whatever we do, but we never know that God is moving and God has even brought this about. And so we know that at the end we will win and there's victories along the way. God bless you. I'm going to pass it over to Jessica.
Give it up one more time for the amazing panel. All right, really quickly, so surveys are going around, so I'll just take a minute off, sharing some announcements, just to give you feedback about this event. We hope to do more like this, and then we'll come back out. So I'm very excited to say that we are opening up applications again for new churches to become a part of the Third Day Church family. So if you're interested in working with us, there is a handout here on how you can apply, or you can visit thirdayproject.org for more information. We'll also send out a follow-up email with the details on how to apply. Also, very excited on June 16th, flyers for it. We have an amazing event. It's an annual Stop the Violence March that's taking place, and so we would love you and this would be a great follow-up to our conversation about coming out and being together. Followed by awesome church service at Sunday, the Juneteenth that we're celebrating. And so we hope that you come out on flyers that are going around the room for that. Is there any other announcements, Pastor, any other announcements in your church or what's going on? St. Paul has a celebration this weekend.
It's Saturday, there's still like
You take
we're almost sold out, but it's gonna be amazing, and there's gonna be my
Yes, so we're excited about that. And so, Brian?
June 10th, Saturday, we have a conversation about toxic liberalization. We've got food starting at 10 a.m. and Dr. Flyer. We'd love to have you prepare for food. What church? Victory Apostolic Church.
Yes, we'll make sure that we get flyer as well, and our email that goes out. And so we are grateful for you. Thank you so much for your hard work. I also want to thank all the Third Day Church Project team, all the ministry learning partners. If you all can stand, you can raise your hand. Mr. Moore, thank you all for your hard work. And his vision for Third Day, wonderful MC, and all our panelists. We're grateful for you. And so we're going to get ready to close out the prayer. Pastor, would you mind saying the closing prayer for us?
Let's bow our heads. Heavenly, thank you for the gift of this day, the gift of you being with us in it, and the gift of each other. We thank you for friends and strangers that we can walk with, and raise our voices and know that if we listen, we hear not just the shouts of our fight where we're at, but we hear the shouts and fights that go on all over the city, whether it's the north side, south suburbs. And understand that we are not alone. There is a great army that's rising up. And that's why the enemy is so angry. And that's why the two living helpers of the enemy work so hard to divide and destroy us. But we also know that in you all things are possible. We know that we win
know that you are God all by yourself, that you have not abandoned us, or forsaken us, or ever leave us. And so we continue to root ourselves in you, God. Thank you for these leaders up here, this panel, the work that they do. Wrap their arms around them, keep them strong, keep them knowing that you are with them, you love them, and that you are grateful that they make you smile. Thank you, God, for each of us who gathered in this room tonight, for the work that we do publicly, privately, for building the kingdom of God every day. We remember, God, that you call us to be disciples, not just believers who know you, but disciples. You said, go and make disciples, those who bring the kingdom of God on earth every day wherever we are. Continue to create a divine tension in us that make us always unsatisfied with the world as it is, and all committed to making it look like something you created. Teach us to continue to love each other, to care for each other, take care of ourselves, and take care of one another. Now, God, safely to our homes. Give us sweet Sabbath rest tonight. And if you had the audacity to wake us up another day, they would wake up asking you, what can we do to serve you? We ask this in Jesus' name. Amen.
God bless you all. Thank you so much for coming. For those who have surveys, you can drop it off at the table on your way out. Thank you for being so.
Easy, I just got to take